Hi folks, welcome back to My World of Tanks Replays with the Mighty Jingles. What I'm doing right now is I've partnered up with my loyal clanmate and trusty sidekick Grimhawk65, star of other videos on my channel like the KV3 game on Runeberg from a couple of weeks ago. Also a couple of games up where myself and the T29, him and the Tiger P, various Yag Tiger and different platoon games that you may have already seen on the channel, and he's helping me out here in the training room on Malinovka on the Patch 8.1 test server by giving us a little armour test with the Panther's L100 gun against the armour of the Centurion Mark 7/1. Now, the reason we chose the Panther is because the gun has good penetration. It's very accurate, so you know I can tell him to aim for this weak spot, and there's a good chance it'll hit it. But it doesn't do a lot of damage, so I can probably take 15-16 hits from that gun before I end up smoking wreck, and we can get some good idea of where the weak spots in this tank's armour are. And there are some interesting results. So, first thing we're going to do is shots at the lower glacis from 100 metres. His gun has 198mm of penetration. So first we're going for the lower glacis, and it is a big old target on this thing. And remember, the frontal armour of the Centurion is 152mm at the most, but there's no way the lower glacis is 152mm because he penetrates it every time. But you know, it is flat on, so we would expect that. And as you can see, equally from 100 metres at a flat angle, he has absolutely no problem penetrating the upper glacis, which is 152mm thick, allegedly, sloped back at a 45-degree angle. And it wasn't a fluke, because he penetrates it every single time. So then I rotate the hull at a 30-degree angle to see if that provides additional protection, and he's still getting through the upper glacis even at a 30-degree angle. And of course, if he can get through the upper glacis, he's also getting through the lower glacis. So that's kind of worrying. Now at that 30-degree angle, as we can see there, you can also penetrate the side armour. Oh, actually, I'll just pause it. What I've actually done there is I've increased the angle to about 40 degrees to see if that will make the front of the tank impenetrable. He's not using gold ammo, by the way. This is standard credit ammunition, standard 75mm high velocity ammo on the Panther. And he's still, even at a 40-degree frontal angle, putting holes in the lower glacis. Now that's bad news. However, the good news is that shots then start bouncing off the upper glacis. But as I mentioned in the Centurion preview, that means that they can start penetrating your side. Now, the Panther's gun has 198mm of penetration, which is bloody good for a tier 7. So I'm trying to narrow in the angle slightly. And now he starts bouncing off the side armour. However, we've already established at that kind of angle, there's no need to aim for the side because you can penetrate the front. So the next test we're going to conduct is these smoke grenade launchers. Are they actually part of the tank's hitbox? And not just the smoke grenade launchers, these toolboxes strapped to the side. Can you damage the tank? Are they weak spots basically? Can you damage the tank and penetrate the tank by shooting at those? And the results are interesting. If I can just keep the turret steady. That one went right through. No damage. Didn't hit anything. And again. You can clearly see the tracer going right through the model and not doing any damage. So the next thing I wanted to test was the gun mantle. Because I'm not amazingly encouraged by the alleged thickness of this armour. I mean, 152mm of sloped, and that's at 45 degrees. Upper glacis armour should be able to bounce every other shot from the Panther's gun, but it didn't. They all went through, even when we angled. And he's not using gold ammo, boys and girls. That's standard ammunition with 198mm of penetration. So next up, gun mantle. Okay, gun mantle is good, and so it damn well should be. However, it does have a weakness. You see that coaxial machine gun right next to the main gun? Slap bang in the middle of the single toughest piece of armour on the front of this tank. Yep, that one penetrated. So that's it's quite funny actually. So while on paper this thing has the best armour of any of the tier 9 mediums, it really is shit. The armour of this tank is not good. I suspect that 152mm at the front is in a very, very narrow strip. There's no way at all. And I admit that these were not the most scientific or rigorously conducted series of tests. It was just two guys derping around in Malinovka, seeing what would happen. But that upper glacis is not uniformly 152mm thick. In fact, I suspect most of it isn't even 152mm thick, because that 198mm penetration gun on the Panther went through it like butter until we were at a 40-degree lateral angle combined with a 45-degree reverse angle on the actual sloping of it itself. And it was only at that point that we started bouncing shots from the Panther's gun. The Panther's tier 7. We're tier 9. So it still doesn't change my opinion about the Centurion. It's still an amazingly good tank, but it's down to the gun and the agility, and it's got nothing whatsoever to do with the armour. So there you go, a quick little totally unscientific test of the Centurion Mach 7's armour protection, which turns out to be not very good at all. Anyway, I hope that was enjoyable and informative. That was just a really quick one. There is also a proper video up tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you on the battlefield.